niya maganda. Gusto ko yung Die Beautiful Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Welcome sa press briefing ni Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Merry Christmas. We'd like to welcome you back after the 25th. This morning we have a guest who will be speaking specifically addressing the preparations for the new year. Okay, his name is Dr. Gerardo Bayugo. He's a dedicated public servant committed to improving the health situation. He's been with the service for 32 years. All right. He's an alumnus of the University of the East, Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Medical Center, where he attained his medical degree. He went on to acquire a master's degree in public health from the University of the Philippines College of Public Health. As the Undersecretary of Health, he has devoted himself to the mission of attaining all health towards health for all for health towards health for all Filipinos. Ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps, please welcome Secretary Gerardo Bayugo. Usec.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary Ernesto Abella, and Merry Christmas po sa lahat to the Malacañang Press Corps, and sana po iligtas yung ating bagong taon. In behalf of Secretary Obial, our Secretary of Health, allow me to please read the press release that we have prepared for our December activities. Actually, December 1 is the World AIDS Day, so allow me to read to you the press statement that was prepared for the Secretary, which was also given to our DOH media friends last December 1. The Department of Health commemorates the World AIDS Day with the theme of promoting unity to stop HIV in the Philippines. According to the Secretary, we can stop HIV transmission only through a collective societal effort, focusing on widespread HIV awareness among the youth and the vulnerable populations, relentlessly promoting consistent and correct condom use, establishing test and treat service delivery networks nationwide, and ending stigmatization and discrimination in workplaces. We need to foster real collaboration with other government agencies such as the Department of Education, as well as community-based organization, in order to reach the young key population with the correct information on HIV and its consequences, and how to stop its transmission and spread. From January 1984 to October 2016, a total of 38,114 cases of HIV were reported in the country. In 2016, roughly 26 new HIV infections every day are being reported, for a total of 7,756 HIV cases alone for 2016. Compare this to the year 2008, where we have only one case a day, or one infection per day being reported. Most were reported from January 2011 onward, or about 32,000 cases were reported from January 2011 up to October 2016. And based on the current information, at least 1,912 Filipinos have died because of acquired immune deficiency syndrome or AIDS. And currently, there are 16,637 people who are living with HIV that are on antiretroviral treatment. This is a lifelong treatment, and we give this, the government give this free to all those who have registered in our HIV treatment hubs, now conveniently located in nationwide. We have 26 treatment hubs nationwide. More than half of all cases, or 19,000 plus, belong to the 25 to 34 years old age group, while 10,279 are among the youth 15 to 24 years old. The predominant mode of transmission from 1984 to 2007 was unprotected heterosexual, meaning boy and girl. After 2009, male-to-male unprotected sex became the predominant mode of transmission. And in 2010, HIV transmission through sharing of infected needles started to increase. Because of this, spreading of HIV now remains a potential threat to female partners of infected male, injecting drug users, and also the mother-to-child transmission. On the distribution of condom, this is part of our press release last December 5, and we have to deal with HIV/AIDS not as business as usual, but business unusual, using this strategy of eliminating HIV in the country. So the Department of Health, together with the Department of Education, the National Youth Commission, place the youth as the key player in the campaign against the spread of HIV/AIDS. The Secretary is proposing the distribution of condoms to schools based on the current statistics in which HIV is increasing among the 15 to 24 years old, and it is shown that there is low condom use rate and a lot of valid reason or varying reason for not using condom. It includes lack of knowledge about the disease, lack of access to condom, and some legal hurdles since 15 to 17-year-old people or children needs parental consent before they can seek services in our social hygiene clinic or avail of reproductive health services. But the Secretary is convinced that this will help a lot in averting and even reversing the increasing trend of HIV in the country. We hope to start distribution of condom next year with the cooperation of the Department of Education, specifically in regions with the most number of HIV cases, and these are in National Capital Region, Calabarzon, and Region 3, and in other vulnerable areas and high-risk population groups. For a statement, the DOH would like to say that the promotion of condoms does not encourage risky behaviors. Rather, it promotes responsibility, respect, and good health habit. Let us equip the youth with the correct and consistent information against HIV and AIDS. So that somewhat summarizes our statement on the HIV, including the much talk about condom distribution in school. Allow me to just give an update on our Iwas Paputok campaign. We now have 70 firework related injuries reported. This is much lower than the figures that we had last year, and even the last 5 years average. In 2015, as of this date, the same period last year, we had 124 cases. But as of today, we have received report that we only have 70 fireworks injury-related disease reports, incidents. One is considered a fireworks ingestion, but this is not really a case of ingestion. A child was seen to have the bruises in between the teeth, but when he was brought to the hospital and was observed, was sent right away, seeing no sign of poisoning or actual ingestion. The rest of the 69 are all blast injuries, and half of these are from National Capital Region. And of these blast injuries, more than half are caused, or 64%, 64 cases are caused by illegal fireworks, like the piccolo and the boga. There's no report of stray bullet injury, and one report of amputation. This happened in summer, and it involves the right 4 digits of the right hand. There was amputation that was done, but so far no deaths were reported, and we hope to see less and less cases. We're praying that we'll see less cases and no more deaths, no more injuries, no more amputation, so that everybody will be having a really prosperous and happy New Year. So with that, thank you po.
Malacañang press corps, questions? Tina Mendez, Philippine Star. Microphone, wait, Athena, thank you.
Good morning, Usec. May we know how much is the budget allocated for the distribution of condoms in 2017?
I cannot specifically give but the budget that we have for the whole HIV/AIDS program, this includes the condom, the testing, is 1 billion for 2017. We have not procured the condom for distribution because we still have a lot of condom in our stocks. But depending on the success of this campaign, since it will not be nationwide initially, it will be prioritized to some high-risk region. We have seen that the stocks of condom that we have will be sufficient for us to make this initial pilot. If there will be a need for us to buy more, then we have the funds coming from that 1 billion money allotted for the program.
But sorry, you still have other budget regarding distribution of condom, regarding population control?
Yes, we still have that
You have
available. For the condom, I think 50 million or 50 to 100 million worth of condom is scheduled for procurement for next year.
Sir, last question. At this point, how many condoms are in stock at the DOH, and why are these not distributed?
We have actually this regularly on stock, but we have also the supplies available in the different the regions we have at the provincial office, we have at the different health outlets. So it's there. The only thing that we have still on stock, about 10 million condoms at the central office, and this we can use to test whether this scheme of distribution of condom among high school students will be acceptable and will be successful.
Sir, just last follow-up. Why were these not distributed? 10 million condoms would have an impact maybe sa population this in 2016.
We have
During
to
the
have,
budget in 2016, and you have another budget in 2017. Why were these not distributed when there were enough?
we have to have stocks somewhere in the central office. And if there's a need to move these stocks in areas where they are reported they are running out stocks, then we have a way of adjusting and supplying them. So some sort of an elbow room in terms of the distribution or allocation that we have prepared. So, but what I'm telling is that we have stocks at the regions, And we have stocks available also in the health centers, in our health facilities. So we don't have to be zero at our warehouse in the central office. So that's what I'm telling, that we have available stocks also. But it doesn't mean that they are not being used. They are ready to be mobilized in case there will be rural health units or health centers that will be requesting additional supplies. And we have this hotline. It's being managed by the Population Commission, wherein our health centers are reporting stocks of their family planning commodities. This includes pills, this includes IUD, this includes condom. And we are constantly, regularly receiving calls and following up status of these supplies in their facilities.
Chonayo?
Sir, yung pamimigay, pagbukas po ng klase sa January at lahat po ng high school students sa NCR, Region 3 and Calabarzon.
These details are still being discussed with DepEd because we do not want na basta mamigay lang na left and right. It needs to be with appropriate advocacy and information. Hindi ito yung parang kukuha ka lang sa kiosk at bibili ka. And there should be parental involvement also. So these guidelines are being ironed out with the DepEd so that alam naman natin ang kultura natin na madaming against that. But this is one strategy, condom distribution is one strategy that our Secretary and the DOH has considered because of the increasing cases among the youth. 2 out of 3 infection that's happening now is among the age 15 to 24 years old. So sa kanila, yung infection na dumadami. And that is where we need to do some action.
Sir, both public and private school.
We hope we can do that. Ma-involve pati yung private. But first, we would like to focus in areas that are we have seen many cases, and also those vulnerable individuals. Yung mga MSM, kasi yung number 1 natin ngayon, from 44% before 2010, now it's 81% as the cause of HIV transmission. It's 81% due to male having sex with male.
Hi sir, good morning. Sir, dun sa fireworks-related injuries, malapit na yung January 1, so do we expect the number to grow or ano po yung preparations natin to lessen the number of those injured from fireworks-related?
The first thing that we did, we launched it last December 19. And we made use of the school children, elementary and high school, talking to them, telling them about what they should be doing during Christmas and avoid firecrackers. We did that launching with the PNP. Doon pa yung mascot ni General Bato. And actually, they have 2 mascots, si PO1 Magalang and General Bato, and the mascot from Bureau of Fire Protection, si B1 and B2. And our own mascot, meron ba kami mascot? Si Dr. Tayag. Joke lang. Yung si Kadiri naman yun eh. But the strategy is to have these children tell their parents not to use, because I reported in that launching that one parent died because of firecrackers last year. Yung Goodbye Philippines, lasing siya, inakap niya, and because of that, some children lost their father that time. So I hope that somewhat also help strengthen the message that children should tell their parents not to engage in this dangerous celebration of New Year. And also, the initial proposal of having this ban on firecrackers, just like what was being done in Davao. So we have prepared that executive order, but it seems there are some adjustments that we need to do. Medyo late na daw yung implementation kung isasagawa, because there are already industries that have prepared, and yan, malulugi din naman sila completely kung so parang naglabi na baka pwedeng i-delay muna. So but still we are advocating to the local governments na if they can set up community fireworks display, and request or appeal to the community na wag munang magpaputok individually. So that's our proposal, to ban individual firecracker use, but encourage or allow the community fireworks display to be implemented by all the local government units. So, yun po, patuloy yung ating panawagan. And also, we are making rounds of the hospitals to show the people how prepared they are. Yung lagare, yung mga pamputol ng kamay, paa at daliri, a way of parang scare tactics na rin, so that mag-isip-isip yung ating kababayan bago sila gumamit ng mga bawal at mga malalakas na paputok.
Okay, MPC, sa iwas paputok na tayo. Wala na sa HIV, ha? Marlon Ramos.
Lang sa HIV. Usec, how are you addressing the strong opposition of the Catholic Church regarding your plan to distribute condoms in schools? I mean, are you planning to sit down with them, discuss your plan?
Yes, that would be a good strategy. But our message nga is, we are not doing this just like that. It has to be coupled with proper information. The message is, we need to inform the youth about HIV, because the knowledge, the awareness of the youth is very low. It's less than 20% actually, based on the several surveys that we have done. 17% to be exact, ang awareness ng general young population on the HIV/AIDS. So it's very low. This way, we can get their attention, and hopefully, they'll more and more of our young population will have this comprehensive, more complete knowledge of HIV and how it's transmitted. So also, it's a way of raising that, putting it in the air, the issue of teenage pregnancy. So because teenage pregnancy is rising, it has doubled in the last 10 years. 2006, I think it was about 6-point-something%. Now it's 13% during the 2013 data. So teenage pregnancy is there. It's becoming a big problem. And premarital sex is happening. So, and because of this, also a lot of young teenagers are getting HIV/AIDS. So, I hope the church will understand that we are not doing this to control the population. And we are very much willing to seek their assistance and help in promoting awareness about the morality of our children, the proper way that children need to behave sexually. And the condom is just there as a stopgap. Doesn't mean that if the teacher or the school gave you a condom, you have to use it. It's a sign of you getting the information, you getting more responsible, and respect for your peers. Yung mga kababaihan, lalo na, dapat nire-respeto at hindi natin basta-basta sinisira din yung kinabukasan. Because if you get pregnant, then that's one thing already. If you're a girl, especially.
Are you hopeful that church leaders would listen to your
We hope, we pray na they will.
So, Usec, is the DOH concerned about the decision of the PNP to not to pursue yung taping ng muzzle ng mga baril nila every New Year. Kasi yun yung directive ng PNP chief. Are you concerned that this would lead to the increase in cases of stray bullets?
I cannot comment on that. It's the strategy of the APNP. But what I can say is, so far as of this date, we have not received any report that there are injuries that are due to stray bullets.
But see, the president initially, the DOH, the health secretary previously said that the president was set to sign an executive order banning the use of fireworks.
Yeah. A draft of that was submitted to the office of the president, but the president said that this will have to be discussed during the cabinet meeting, and I was not there during the meeting, but I just learned that there are some groups that are saying that we also need to look at the industry side, the people that will be affected in terms of their livelihood. So in Davao, it was implemented for so many years because the industry can have other market to go to, but when it's a nationwide ban, it's another thing, it's a different thing. And there will be industries and laborers that may be affected by this move. So I think the president was wise enough to consider that, even if he is a very strong advocate of a total ban.
So is an executive order enough? There's no need for legislation for this?
Legislation will be a better tool to really enforce things that we would like to happen. But for the meantime, since legislation will take much time, much longer time, we believe that an executive order could have been a faster way of making our New Year's safer for the Filipinos.
Okay, thank you, Marlon. Ace to be followed by Sweden. Last 2 questions na tayo.
Okay, Doctor. So, ibig sabihin, this New Year, there will be no EO on firecrackers?
We have not seen any signed EO yet, so that's not for me to say. Of course, mag-aabang na lang kami if there will be an EO that will be coming out.
Pero highly unlikely na. Pwede na bang sabihin highly unlikely na considering na ilang araw na lang?
Hindi ko alam yan, hindi ko masagot siguro.
Okay.
Hindi ko kasi akong pipirme, so...
Okay. So, pero what are the details contained in the EO? Ano yung nakalagay doon sa EO na draft? Can you give us more details about it?
Yun lang, binaban actually yung individual use of the firecrackers. Kasi based on our, what we have drafted, dalawang klase yan. Firecrackers, ito yung mga paputok. And the fireworks display, ito yung pyrotechnics, Ito yung pyrotechnics and the firecrackers. The fireworks is, ito yung lahat-lahat. This includes the pyrotechnics and the firecrackers. What we would like to limit or to ban is the individual use of the firecrackers. Dahil ito yung nakakagawa talaga ng injuries sa ating mga kababayan. But the fireworks display, yung pyrotechnics, okay ito, especially if we set up a community fireworks display. So wala naman, bihira naman yung nakakaroon ng injuries because of that. We usually see this in mga piyesta, sa mga mall na malalaki, and you don't see any report of people getting injured. So ang injury natin talaga during the New Year is the use individually of the firecrackers, especially the loud and the big ones and the illegal ones. Piccolo, number 1. Ito yung pinakasanhi ngayon ng mga related injuries natin sa firecrackers.
May sanctions po ba nakalagay doon sa draft EO for violators?
Pag EO, what I know is walang sanction. Oo.
Okay.
pag batas dyan, pwede ka nang maglagay ng sanction. Pero pag executive order, if hindi ka...
Kahit warning or anything, wala.
Parang wala yata.
Wala po. Okay, thank you po.
Thank you, Ace. Sweden Velado. Microphone.
Good afternoon, Usec. Sir, kanina po sa press conference ni PNP Chief Bato, nasabi niya that President Duterte told him that Philippines is not yet ready for a firecracker ban. Sir, do you agree with this mindset of the President? Hindi pa po ba talaga tayo ready because of lack of information dissemination?
I agree. Of course, I have to I have to agree with the President. And personally, I agree. Because this administration came in midway, And the preparation for the year, yung production nito, lahat-lahat ng mga, even the investment, happened even earlier. And just disrupting an industry like that, it will not be a good sign also in terms of your concern for your people. There are areas, there are industries that will be affected, and this has to be weighed. And so far, so good. Sabi ko nga, we are seeing less injuries. Kung hindi naman naangal yung mga industry ng fireworks na hindi naman bumaba yung kanilang sale, siguro mas naging maingat na lang yung mga tao. And we hope to see that continuing as we celebrate the New Year.
Okay, last
Sir,
question. Okay.
Follow up, Usec. So, just to clarify, we are pushing for a firecracker ban, not firecracker or regulation. Ban po talaga by next year, if ever we implement it.
Okay, last question. Celerina.
Good morning, sir. Sir, how big is this industry? Di ba you're saying na you're considering this industry kaya the government is not yet issuing this EO. So how big is this industry to be affected, if ever?
Hindi ko alam actually what I was telling earlier that it was discussed during the cabinet, and what I heard is that there are lobby from the industry side, but I'm not privy to the discussion that happened. So I really don't know how big is the industry of the fireworks industry in the country.
Since the government is avoiding this abrupt implementation, if ever, that's why there's no EO yet. So are we expecting that as early as next year, there could be an EO banning these firecrackers?
Two ways. It's either we push through with an EO, or we propose a law that will more or less achieve what we intend to achieve, meaning less injury, less damages. Kasi hindi lang naman injury minsan nakakasunog pa, hindi ba? Because of the quitis na kung saan napunta. So these are the things that we would like to be achieved by this regulation that we will be proposing.
So we're expecting by next year, there will be an EO or a law prohibiting these firecrackers.
Hopefully, we can have that by next year.
Okay, thank you, Celerina. Thank you, Dr. Bayugo, Presidential Spokesperson.
Morning. We'd like to wrap up the year with a brief summary of the achievements for 2016 and prospects for 2017. As a very brief summary, we'd like to cover 6 areas that have shown significant achievements under the Duterte administration. Number 1 is economic growth. Number 2 is employment, aspect of employment. Number 3 is infrastructure. Number 4 is international partnerships. And international partnerships, the war in illegal drugs, and peace talks. Regarding economic growth, the Philippines is one of the fastest growing economies in Asia in 2016. With a 7% GDP growth in the first 3 quarters, we are sure to achieve it, if not surpass, our target of 6 to 7% growth for the whole of 2016. Household consumption, as well as investments in construction, public infrastructure, and durable equipment drove the economic growth. This was supported by low inflation, low interest rates, better labor market conditions, and the steady growth in the remittances of our overseas Filipino workers. Government assistance such as the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program or 4Ps also provided additional boost to consumer demand. The agriculture sector is also starting to recover and finally breaking 5 consecutive quarters of decline. Growth in industry, particularly manufacturing, construction and utilities, accelerated. The services sector likewise improved overall, with stronger expansion in trade, finance, real estate, and public administration. So what are the prospects for 2017? The NEDA is setting a GDP growth rate in 2017 of between 6.5 and 7.5%. To accelerate poverty reduction, the fight for the full implementation of the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health, or the RPRH law. This is intended to make sure that women become more productive members of the labor force. Employment. In 2016, the Philippine labor market is found to be in better shape, as employment rate as of October 2016 is at 95.3%. This means that there are approximately 41.7 million Filipinos employed, while unemployment rate also declined to a record low of 4.7%. So what are the prospects for 2017? Considering that 1/3 of our labor market remains vulnerable to external shocks, we must continue to work to improve local infrastructure and link the agriculture sector with industries to help raise the productivity of farmers and increase the value of their products. We also need to strengthen linkages with academia, technical education institutions, and industries to equip students with competencies essential to thrive in today's competitive work environment. In terms of infrastructure, in 2016, the NEDA board, which has already met twice, has so far approved 17 projects, of which we've touched on in several past briefings. But among them, I just mentioned Phase 1 of the Metro Manila Flood Management Project, the EDSA Bus Rapid Transit Project, the Plaridel Bypass Road Project, the New Cebu International Container Port Project, the South Line of the North-South Railway Project, and the new 9 Filipino at Entertainment City. So what are the prospects for 2017? The government is ramping up public infrastructure spending next year, allotting at least 5% of the GDP to go to infrastructure projects until 2022. International partnerships. What happened in 2016? The President embarked on foreign trips to ASEAN, China, Japan, and Peru. It was a very fruitful series of trips as the Philippines has now opened more opportunities for trade and investment to a market of 1.8 billion people across the ASEAN region. This is in line with our desire for a closer integration in Asia through regional economic rebalancing and diversifying our foreign economic relations. What are the prospects for 2017? Our chairmanship of the ASEAN Summit next year will be a perfect opportunity for the Philippine government to forge more partnerships with our neighboring countries. The war on illegal drugs. The President launched a determined campaign versus illegal drugs, which are characterized as having reached the level of narcopolitics because people in positions from local to the national, as well as institutions like the police and military, have been co-opted by the drug cartel. The campaign has resulted in the surrender of more than 900,000 people from the different barangays and the confiscation of billions of worth of illegal drugs. What are the prospects for 2017? Exposing the drug menace has now led the government to look at it not only as a national security threat, but also now as a public health issue. Hence the building of rehab programs all over the nation. Peace talks. The second round of the official peace talks between the government and the communist-led NDF ended with both parties agreeing on the framework and outline of the proposed agreements on socioeconomic reforms, political and constitutional reforms, and the end of hostilities and disposition of forces. The negotiations were conducted in Norway. Prospects for 2017. President Duterte's ultimate dream is for all armed conflict to stop and for the Filipino people to live in peace, safety, and security. We'll have room for a few questions.
Questions? MPC? Ace? Tina? Oh, Tina Mendez.
Hi, sir. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
May New Year's resolution daw po ba ang Pangulo? Like, hindi na magmumura. Kaya.
I think he wants peace on earth, goodwill to all men. Hindi ba?
Sir, any reaction on this call of 3 United States senators expressing concern on President Duterte's war and describing it as a campaign of drug campaign disguised as a campaign of mass atrocities?
Is it an official statement? Is that from the State Department?
3 senators, three U.S. senators wrote their Congress regarding their concern.
It has not reached my desk, but however, they're entitled to their own opinions. Yes.
Marlon Ramos?
So yung first 6 months ng Duterte administration and its war on drugs, how would you assess it? Considering that the president had promised to stem the drug menace within the first 6 months of his administration.
Yes, that was part of the campaign promise,
Yes.
right? However, as he has said repeatedly, the depth and breadth and the extent of the influence of illegal drugs is far more than he actually imagined. However, considering the fact that he was able to, his campaign was able to yield surrendering 900, at least nearly 1 million surrenderies, shows us how significant how significant the impact is upon those who are engaged in drugs, and I think it's something to be lauded, something to be appreciated, and something I believe that a great number of people on the ground appreciate. The fact that they can go home safe, the fact that people are no longer on the streets acting with impunity, and we hear this on the ground. As I'm sure you do, people do appreciate the fact that that his war on drugs has actually yielded very significant results, both quantitatively and qualitatively.
Sir, pardon me for saying this, but how can the government say that the streets are now safer when the PNP said the murder cases had increased by 51%?
I think you have to put it in context. No? It says also that index crime rates have also lowered significantly, telling us that a majority of those crimes have been related to drugs. So, so in a sense, it is a question of being able to see it with the right perspective. And also, coming back from the reports, actually, if you hear anecdotal reports from people, they actually say that, how much they deeply appreciate the fact that they can go home safer.
So it's better for Filipinos being killed than Filipinos falling prey to petty criminals? Is that
I think the way you phrase it seems to indicate a particular political position. No, it's not that way. Whoever, again and again, the president says that nobody celebrates the fact that Filipinos die. No, and nobody celebrates that at all. Nobody appreciates that. However, we do appreciate the fact that that the situation on the ground is so much more safer. That is what we celebrate.
Sir, what are the parameters when the government says that it is winning the war on drugs?
Well, first and foremost, the fact that we're able to uncover the depth and length and breadth of the actual situation. The fact that he is able to identify at least 4,000 to 5,000 people in government who are actually involved in the drug trade in one way or another. That is already significant. Identifying the enemy is about 50% of the battle, right? And also the fact that at least 900,000 people have already surrendered when did they surrender? During his administration. So it tells you that prior to him, prior to his situation, this was not something that was being done. And so this is not a question of saying that this administration is better. It simply is the fact that it seems to be more effective along these lines than what has happened previously. Yes.
JP, to be followed by Cedric.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Sir, may reports daw na at least 100 people or street dwellers are being cleansed up, rounded up in the streets of Manila in preparation for Miss U. How true is it, sir? And are we eyeing this policy to be implemented to clean up the streets just to present something good for the visitors that will be coming here next year?
In fact, on the contrary, what I heard, but this is only anecdotal, not policy, is the fact that the president apparently has said, no, leave them there. Leave them there so that the people see exactly where we are. So I don't know exactly which moves are these. I don't know if it's official. But as far as I know, anecdotally, the president has said that leave them there so that they, we're not hiding our true situation.
Sir, on another point,
Yes.
the Vice President last week said na she has raised concerns on the statements of the President about martial law. She has apprehensions to what the President said na changing the Constitution. Can you please clarify this, sir? And yung concerns bang ni-raise nga, is this legitimate concerns? Or na-misunderstood ba ni VP yung statement sa Presidente?
Well, the president, in context, the president was saying that the president was saying that there seems to be, if martial law were to be taken for what it's supposed to be, which is to protect and preserve the safety of the people, then it should be facilitated. However, the Vice President Lenny seems to have amplified her concerns and seems to make it appear as if the president was actually planning on doing it. But if you read it in context, it was not that way.
Sir, on another note na lang on the Vice President pa rin. Sir, reportedly, the VP is in New York, pero sinalanta yung Bicol. There are some criticisms on the Vice President. Is this kind of wrong na the VP is taking a vacation, then her people is suffering?
That's not mine to judge. This is not our position to be able to judge her actions. It's her responsibility.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Cedric?
Sir, Happy New Year po, sir.
Happy New Year.
Sir, Manila Times is reporting that former U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Goldberg, sir, left behind a strategic blueprint daw, supposedly on how to remove President Duterte from the office, sir. Has the president seen?
I don't know if he has seen that, but it's on the internet. Everybody can access that. However, we have not received any news from the State Department. Apparently, as far as I know, as far as I've been informed, the State Department has denied anything of this sort and has denied participation of anything of this sort. However, as we can all see, the president continues to enjoy the trust of the people, and the people on the ground apparently appreciate what he's doing. So, again, let me just say that I think, according to the article, whoever attempts this will find it difficult.
Okay. So last talk, okay.
Sir, on another matter po, I think this is the only aircraft carrier ng China, sir, that it has conducted what China calls routine exercises sa South China Sea. Any reaction po from the palace po?
We do not have. I don't have an official report. I don't have an official reaction to that or response.
Okay, last question, Solerina.
Sir, can you confirm reports regarding the upcoming visit next year of Japanese Prime Minister Abe? When will that be? Would it be a state visit or official visit?
There have been talks regarding that matter, but there are no official word yet that has been given. So I cannot comment authoritatively.
Sir, Secretary, another topic. Secretary Piñol raised concern regarding the 4Ps because according to him, they received reports from the ground that there were less farm workers working now on the field because they were dependent on 4Ps. Parang they're just waiting for the fund and place it like isusugal daw nila. So, is there any action from the government regarding this matter?
We will have to clarify that with Secretary Piñol. First, we have to clarify the context of the statement, and then we have to clarify the veracity of whether it really is true that people are recklessly spending whatever aid that they're receiving.
So, if ever, will there be a move to like reduce the number of beneficiaries?
Well, I'm sure there'll be resultant responses.
Thank you, Salorina. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Back to our main studio sa Radyo ng Bayan at PTV4.
All right.